Last season on Hard-Enduro, Johnny Walker earned his first series championship. The UK's new superstar won 5 of the 6 events in the series and usurped the formidable Graham Jarvis as the world's #1 Hard-Enduro rider. The 2016 field will be tougher than ever, with a crop of young emerging talent and new races developing. This year is sure to go down to the wire. And with last year's champion Johnny Walker out with a broken leg, the first race of the season is anyone's to win. 2016 will have a new look with 2 new races. Returning for the 47th year of racing, the Roof of Africa will be the final race of the season. Well, in its first ever race, we have Red Bull Minas Riders, which means we've landed in South America, more specifically Brazil, for the first stop of the 6-race series. This is Hard-Enduro. This is Red Bull Minas Riders. Welcome Race World and welcome to Brazil. Hard-Enduro riders from all over the world have made their way to Belo Horizonte to compete for the inaugural Hard-Enduro Glory. We're at the first event of the 2016 calendar and a first-time race for the Hard-Enduro series.
Red Bull Minas Riders, this place is wild.
Yeah, I expect to be in the top spot.
I'm excited to be here, can't wait to get going.
This 4-day rally starts with a 2-for-1 special, a morning off-road race and an afternoon city prologue. It's the morning of the race and a beautiful horizon greets the anxious riders. Even for the world's best, the new course and unknown trails have their nerves wound tight.
Day 1 in Brazil and yeah, feeling a bit nervous because you know, we don't know what's out there really. And you know, once I get out there, hopefully the nerves will go and I'll be able to pick up a bit of pace.
The 60-kilometer morning time trial will count towards the overall time of the 4-day race. As well, it determines the starting rows for the afternoon prologue. Reaching the section called Stoned, Brazilian local Bruno Crevillian tries to scale the near-vertical wall, but fails miserably. But like any Hard-Enduro rider, he jumps back on his bike and pushes towards the finish. Riding the Brazilian landscape, the top team riders shine. It's as if they've been training here their entire careers. Alfredo Gomez gets the fastest time of the day, with Graham Jarvis coming in 4 minutes 18 seconds later and Paul Bolton rounding out the top 3. Bringing the action into the heart of the city for the prologue, hundreds of screaming fans line the track for their first taste of Hard-Enduro.
So here we are at the prologue, Minas Riders 2016. We're here in Brazil and the track's looking sick. Let's go and have some fun on it.
With a swipe of the flag, Gomez takes the whole shot with some Spanish flair. Through the loose rock bed sections, it's Jarvis and Paul Bolton close behind. Passing lapped riders, Jarvis is shadowing Gomez, but Alfredo keeps his blistering pace throughout the 15-minute sprint race. Important note here, each position the riders come after first means they get a minute added to their overall event time. Jarvis's chances of catching the Spaniard Gomez are shrinking, so he makes his move, but he ends up over the handlebars. Taking note from the veteran, Brazilian Gustavo Pailin follows suit. From there, Gomez cruises to the prologue victory, with Jarvis coming in second and Bolton coming in third.
I get a very good feeling. You know, I was doing all the Super-Enduro season and this is pretty much the same, and yeah, just push and keep the win.
I was following Gomez, so I was happy in second really, you know, going a similar pace, and I made one big mistake and he got away, so I just settled for second, so I'm happy with that.
At the end of day 1, Gomez has built up a lead of over 5 minutes on Jarvis, but with 3 more days of off-road racing ahead, this is anyone's race to win. Brazil is the 5th largest country in the world, filled with dense jungles, rapid rivers, and deadly critters. Let's catch up with race creator Martin Fred-Adamits and see what made Belo Horizonte such an ideal location for his newest Hard-Enduro race.
Yeah, when I've been here the first time, which was 2 years ago, I've seen the terrain, the trails, I've seen the possibilities. I knew there's still a lot of work to do if I want to organize something here. But I have a very good team that is working with me since a while to make this event happen. A lot of professionals that really know what needs to be done in order to have a proper organized event, a safe event. Brazil has a huge off-road scene and a lot of really beautiful terrain. Deep jungles to slippery riverbeds, high mountains, stony sections, pretty much everything here. That combination was the deciding factor, and it's just perfect to ride enduro here.
Red Bull Minas Riders is a 4-day race, and it starts with a time trial. Then we're going to head over to the city prologue, and then we're going into the mountains, and it's going to be crazy.
I think it's about 180 k's each way, so really long days.
The reason why I decided for a similar race concept as Romaniacs is that I want to have a lot of international competitors. And if you travel from far away, you want to have also a big adventure and a long riding time.
The first difference here is, you know, how dry it is, rain. But I think down in the valleys as well, there's slippery ravines and a lot of water as well.
It's just single trail after single trail, high mountains that are just insane, you know, big peaks.
The ground is red, and yeah, the dirt, everything is much more compact.
Yeah, the ground is completely different, it's just rocks, dust, and also the heat will be a big point in the race.
The nature does punish the riders. If they want to get from A to B, from start to finish, there's a lot of punishment on the track.
The day breaks over the city of Belo Horizonte. Off-road day 2 will be the toughest day of the event.
Yeah, it's day 2. Yesterday I win the prologue, and I can choose where I want to start. I choose third, so I'm 5 minutes in front of Graham.
Apparently it's quite fast this morning up until the service point, so you know, just going to have to keep enough pace there, and then hopefully this afternoon, if it's a bit more difficult, try and get some time back.
165 kilometers of virgin off-road terrain will test the strength, stamina, and fortitude of these hard-enduro athletes. The first 3 depart with a 3-minute gap between them, followed by the rest of the pack leaving in groups of 2 every minute. Riding hard-enduro takes 100% focus. One lapse in judgment could be costly. Here, Jarvis hits a small rut and goes down. This isn't the way the Husqvarna factory rider wants to start his day. Further on in the race, after an earlier crash, Jarvis is now riding smooth and has found his own flow, making ground on Paul Bolton in first place. But Bolts won't give up the lead just yet, as he pushes on over this river crossing, knowing the silent assassin is soon to attack. Jarvis catches the day 2 race leader, Paul Bolton. Now it's Grimbo's turn to lay fresh tracks and to find the finish. Making their way into the service point, Jarvis has held his lead over Bolton and has cut 2 minutes into Gomez's overall time for the event.
Yeah, did quite well. Caught Paul up, so that's good. And I've heard it's a bit more difficult this afternoon, so hopefully I can push hard and increase a bit of a gap.
Leaving the service point, Alfredo Gomez, Philip Schultz, and Lars Enoch depart in a group. They have 60 kilometers of intense racing to reach the finish and put an end to day 2. The last half of the day consists of slow technical riding, perfect terrain for Graham Jarvis to open his lead over the trailing pack. Knowing each second faster he reaches the finish, the more time he takes off of Gomez's overall event lead. Trailing the leaders, the native gold-class Brazilians are riding as a pack. With little chance of a podium, just finishing the race will be an accomplishment these locals can be proud of. Schultz and Gomez have teamed up to ride most of the second half of the day together. Arriving at the finish, Graham Jarvis wheelies his way through the Red Bull Arch, taking the top time of the day and shrinking Gomez's overall event lead.
It's been a really long day, yeah, it's been incredibly tough. This morning there's nothing difficult, but then this afternoon it was so slow riding in long grass, hidden rocks, big holes to drop into, tree stumps, it had everything. Get a rest and then look forward to tomorrow.
Philip Schultz stays on Alfredo Gomez's tail and rides a near flawless day as they arrive at the finish together. Schultz ends up taking second overall for the day and Gomez third. After 2 days of racing, the battles for both first and third are heating up. Tomorrow is the chance for the riders to make their moves. Brazil is a country usually known for its wild parties and passion for football. But a new craze has hit the countryside. You guessed it, it's hard-enduro.
My name is Gustavo Pelin. I am from Brazil. I have 32 years old, and I'm gonna race in the gold class. The Brazilian rider is very, very excited with this race. Me too. I love this hard-enduro. I raced 2 times in Romania. So the race come to Brazil is very good for everybody.
I'm very proud of racing here. I think it's a very important race, the Red Bull Minas Riders.
Very popular, the hard enduro. I think because we have a lot of green, a lot of trails. So everybody go with the bike, with the motorcycle, and when you start in the motorcycle, we can stop.
Off-road day 3 will be another punishing test for these riders.
I'm leading for 2.5 minutes in front of Graham. I start third today. Graham is 6 minutes in front, so if I catch him, I will be very happy to put the 6 minutes on him.
So we've got 160 Ks today. I'm starting off first, so I'm just going to push as hard as I can so he doesn't catch me up this time.
So today is my big pushing day. I'm setting off fourth, so I'm just going to push and see what we can do to the finish.
The difficulty of day 3 starts immediately with a zigzag hill climb. Jarvis slithers up the start hill as the other riders wait to be released onto the race course. Deep in the jungle, Jarvis keeps the lead and the tempo is fast. Germany's Philip Schultz in second place keeps pace with the leader and is riding an impressive morning race. Meanwhile, back in third, Alfredo Gomez and Paul Bolton have a battle of their own going on. Charging down the dirt road, Schultz and Jarvis meet while going in opposite directions.
What do we do?
I don't know.
They quickly get back on track, but have given up 6 minutes to the chasing pack. The riders reach the service point in a group. After the 20-minute mandatory stop, the second half of the day promises to be a neck-and-neck race to the finish. Leading into the section called Stomach Cramps, the ever-polite Alfredo Gomez grabs a second win and starts to pick off the leading riders, moving now into second place.
Thank you!
Back out front, Graham Jarvis is trying to pad his lead. Taking the time to find his line allows him to ride easily over some slippery landscape. In second place, Gomez is riding clean and has made up 5 minutes on the race leader, but makes a mistake and he goes over the handlebars, using up valuable energy that he will need for the final section. Now back in third, Paul Bolton has claimed the position from Philip Schultz. racing hard to increase the distance and make his first Hard-Enduro podium in 4 years. The last section of the day is an insanely steep hill climb called Sweaty Climax. This climb will take the pros to the apex of the mountain. Bouncing from side to side, Jarvis makes it appear effortless as he navigates his way to the finish. Sitting in second, Gomez, who has run an extremely fast day, labors through the entire Sweaty Climax. Will this struggle cost him the best overall time for the day? Day 3 comes to an end with Graham Jarvis sliding down the near vertical slope and through the Red Bull Arch.
Been okay. I set off first and then got back first, so quite fast going, just that last bit really. You know, overall it's close as well, so every second's going to count now.
Alfredo Gomez arrives 5 minutes and 15 seconds after Jarvis. The Spaniard has won the day by a mere 45 seconds.
After the service point, much better than before. I almost catch Graham, but arriving here, I couldn't get up my bike and I lose almost 5 minutes with him. Happy, but a bit disappointed because of that.
After 3 days of racing and nearly 16.5 hours on the bike, Alfredo Gomez has a 3-minute 56-second lead over Graham Jarvis in second, and with Paul Bolton sitting in third. The growth of Hard-Enduro is evident. Due to the high demand of competitors and fans alike, each year new races are cropping up. The Hard-Enduro series covers 6 races on 4 continents, claiming a global reach and proving the sport is bigger than ever.
It's incredible how the sport's grown. You know, it's a global sport now. You know, it's recognised around the world, and you know, it's a lot more riders coming into the sport. The level of riding is getting higher, and more spectators, more people following it. So it's definitely got a good future.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the growth of Hard-Enduro, but you can be riding from anywhere from a city prologue with man-made obstacles to riding on some of the most pointed ridges in Brazil, or riding in the most dense forest in Romania, or beaches of Turkey, Poland, mines. We like mines, don't we?
And then we're just riding the most varied terrain you could think of. It's got everything, hill climbs, always different amounts of traction, so you're always fighting with the bike, just trying to get that extra few seconds on the other riders.
Hard-Enduro is getting bigger and bigger, so we get really good coverage. Our sport is really exciting. I think a lot of things happen during the races, which is really cool for all people who watch us. And yeah, all South American riders, or there are a lot of riders, they all came to Erzberg and whatever to check out these races, and now it's really cool that we European riders can come to their countries too.
Every season the Hard-Enduro is growing fast, and many riders are coming, new riders, and the old ones also still here, so it's very good that see how much grow this sport.
It's the day of Red Bull Minas Riders, and after 3 days of extreme racing terrain, the pilots have a 115-kilometer loop from start to finish to make their last charge for the podium.
Yeah, it's the final day, and just a few minutes behind Alfredo, so hopefully, you know, if there's some fresh terrain that has not been ridden too much, and he's going to put a line in hopefully, and then just follow the tracks and keep pushing as hard as I can.
It's the final day. I'm first overhaul with 3 minutes 56 seconds over Graham, and if he couldn't catch me, it will be very good. If he just catch me, but I will try to stay with him and arrive at the finish line with him.
With 350-plus kilometers of racing covered over the last 3 days, these boys are battered, bruised, and beaten. Now, the only thing stopping them from the finish is the Brazilian terrain. With over a 4-minute lead, Alfredo Gomez has set the pace for this race. Departing first, the Spaniard needs to have a mistake-free day to keep his lead and to claim victory. Taking off 3 minutes later, Graham Jarvis is on the hunt. He needs to catch Gomez and gain 4 minutes on the leader to rob him of this inaugural race win. Meanwhile, the battle for third is just as tight. Paul Bolton is trying to keep his 3-minute 56-second lead on Philip Schultz intact and claim the final podium spot. The first test of the day brings the riders into a narrow dry river crevice. Following upstream, Graham Jarvis is meticulous as he guides his bike up the trail, while feeling the pressure from his fellow countryman Paul Bolton as he closes the gap for second place. Making his way into the service point, Gomez has built on his lead, while Jarvis struggled once again with navigation.
Yeah, I've lost a bit of time this morning, mainly just missing a few turn-ins with the navigation, but just, 2 or 3 turn-ins and it just can cost you, and some places it's quite hard to turn around when you miss a turn-in, so, I just have to concentrate a bit harder on the GPS. It'd be nice if Gomez made a few mistakes, but he's riding really well, so, it's that down to me to go faster.
The last 40 kilometers of the track lay ahead, and the riders make their final push to the finish. Standing is the section Italian corner. This no-help zone is a 10-kilometer loop with 2 kilometers of pure pain and has potential to be a leaderboard changing section. The fans arrive in the middle of the dense jungle to cheer on their favorite riders. Gomez is on the home stretch. The smiling Spaniard has increased his lead and can taste victory at this inaugural event. At full throttle to catch the leader, Jarvis has run out of fuel. Grimbo now has to find a splash of petrol from another rider. With less than 4 kilometers of racing left, the silent assassin is stopped. The race for third between Bolton and Schultz is down to a minute. A clean ride to the finish will determine the last podium position for this year's race. After 4 grueling days of racing, Alfredo Gomez cruises with ease to the finish and claims victory in Brazil. The Spaniard rode like a champion and proves he is a threat in any condition and on any continent.
Yeah, I'm very happy today with my day. All went very good. This morning I get a very good read soon. I just do my best all day, pushing and judging my riding almost all day. Yeah, I took the win, so very happy for me and for my team.
Graham Jarvis has gotten his fuel and is back to racing, but now it's just to keep his second place. Paul Bolton finishes before Schultz and secures third place. Now he must wait and see if and when Jarvis will arrive to finalize the podium positions.
Yeah, the race was super hard, but I've come here and I've got a goal in my head when I came here, and I wanted to get third, and yeah, I think I've made it.
With the top pros crossing the finish, Jarvis is still 2+ kilometers away. But the veteran of the sport keeps his composure, solidifying his second place.
Yeah, I was going okay, keeping a similar pace to Gomez, but yeah, then I took a wrong turn in, lost quite a bit of time there, and then I ran out of fuel, so it's been a pretty bad day, but I've got to be happy with second. I think it would have been difficult to beat Alfredo anyway. He was riding really well. Happy with second, and congrats to Gomez, he's done well.
After a successful first event, pro and amateur riders from all over the world arrived in Brazil to challenge this race and can now say they've conquered this beast.
I want to dedicate this victory to my friend and photographer Alberto Lesman, who passed away yesterday, and that's victories for you, man.
The first ever Red Bull Minas Riders is complete. The 4-day rally brought Hard-Enduro to South America, and Brazil didn't let us down. With his first win of the year in the inaugural race, Alfredo Gomez proves he's growing as a rider and will be a threat all season long for the top spot. In the world rankings, Gomez is on top, but with 5 races left in the series and a healthy Johnny Walker to return soon, the championship will be anyone's to claim. The next stop for the riders is the Iron Giant. We're bringing the circus back to the Erzberg Rodeo to challenge these hellmen once again. I'm Troy Mannering saying thanks for watching and keep the rubber side down.